debt profile under control. NNPC pipeline project will accelerate Nigeria's economic development. Obafemi Awolowo University's sex for Mark victim speaks out. And on the foreign scene, Kim Jong-un halts further nuclear test. These and more in a moment. I am Anthony Momodu with the news on the hour on television, Nigerian. Nigeria's Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun, has played down the warning by the International Monetary Fund, IMF, that debt levels in African economies were rising, stating that Nigeria's debt levels were still sustainable and under control. Speaking on the sideline of the G20 finance ministers and central bank governors meetings at the ongoing 2018 IMF and World Bank meetings in Washington, D.C., Adeosun said Nigeria had nothing to worry about as the country's debt levels is less than 20% when compared to that of other African countries in focus. Adeosun assured that the government would keep monitoring and analyzing its debt levels at every stage so that they don't fall into the trap that most African states had fallen into, stating that the country had to borrow in order to save the economy. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Chief Operating Officer in charge of gas and power, Engineer Saidu Mohammed, has disclosed that the Ajaokuta-Kaduna-Kano pipeline, otherwise called AKK, was conceived to ensure the nation's energy security and to act as a catalyst to propel industrial development and boost agriculture in the country. Speaking on the impact the project would have on the Nigerian economy when completed, the NNPC chief stated that energy security was central to the nation's economy and industrial development, and the project is part of the federal government's blueprint for development of infrastructure for a rapid economic development in country. The NNPC recently signed a contract with 2 indigenous firms for the construction of the Ajaokuta, Kaduna and Kano pipelines, and the project is expected to take off soon. Still ahead, OAU Sex for Mark's victim speaks out, while in sports, the race for Arsene Wenger's successor begins. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Living Treasures Academy. Enjoy a conducive and serene learning environment. Qualified and experienced teachers. Equipped computer laboratory and library. Secured atmosphere. Extracurricular activities. An all-embracing curriculum for total development of the child. Comprehensive education for leadership. Join us today from crèche to secondary levels. Living Treasures Academy, committed to excellence.
Thanks for staying tuned. The student at the center of the Sex for Mark scandal rocking the Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, Ms. Monica Osaige, has denied shunning an invitation by the panel probing her audio tapes of her conversation with disgraced Professor Richard Akindele, who demanded 5 rounds of sex for marks. Speaking through a proxy, Abiola Akinyode Afolabi Osaige stated that she is still awaiting invitation to appear before the institution's investigative panel and challenged the university to bring evidence that she was formally invited by any means to appear before the panel. Afolabi, who is the founder of a non-profit organization, Women Advocates Research and Documentation Center, accused the university of trying to protect its reputation at the expense of the victim, adding that the university should be responsible and responsive in addressing issues of sexual harassment. To some entertainment, a winner is set to emerge from Nigeria's biggest reality TV show, Big Brother Nigeria, as the show ends this Sunday in South Africa. After 12 weeks of intense competition and intrigues, 5 top finalists, including Miracle, Toby, Sisi, Nina, and Alex, out of the 20 contestants that began the show on January the 28th, are in race for the coveted prize of 45 million naira and a brand new SUV car, and a winner will ultimately emerge during Sunday's final broadcast. While this third season of the reality show tagged Double Wahala has been punctuated with breakups, makeups, and dirty fight that led to the disqualification of 2 housemates, the show equally has lived up to its billing as the most watched show across the continent. On the foreign scene, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un said North Korea will suspend nuclear and missile tests effective immediately and abolish a nuclear test site in the northern part of the country in a bid to pursue economic growth and peace on the Korean peninsula. Kim Jong-un said his country no longer needs to conduct nuclear tests or intercontinental ballistic missile tests because it has completed weaponizing nuclear arms. The declaration, long sought by the US, will be seen as a crucial step in the fast diplomatic negotiations in and around the Korean peninsula. It comes less than a week before Kim meets South Korean leader Moon Jae-in for a summit in the demilitarized zone that divides the peninsula, and ahead of the much-anticipated encounter with the US President Donald Trump. In sports, Arsene Wenger's decision to finally step aside as Arsenal's manager after 22 years in charge has sparked fervent speculations over who the Gunners will turn to next to succeed the Frenchman. Top on the contenders list is Patrick Vieira, the inspirational captain of the Arsenal's Invincibles that went entire league season unbeaten in 2003-2004. Vieira won 3 league titles and 3 FA Cups during his playing days at Arsenal, but has taken his first steps in management with another of his former clubs, Manchester City. While popular with the fans, Vieira's lack of top-level managerial experience would pose a huge risk in Arsenal's attempt to re-establish themselves as a Premier League contender. To end the news, a recap of the major stories. Nigeria's debt profile under control. NNPC's pipeline project will accelerate Nigeria's economic development. Obafemi Awolowo's University's Sex for Marx victim speaks out. And on the foreign scene, Kim Jong-un hots further nuclear test. Remember, sometimes the most productive thing you can do is relax. So have yourself a wonderful weekend. Thanks for watching. I am Anthony Momodu.